President Trump takes aim at China's abusive trade policies, doubling down on his long-kept promise to secure a strong deal for the United States.
China has taken advantage of our country for decades. They steal our intellectual property, so many other things. So now it's just different. And now it's working the other way. And tariffs are a beautiful thing when you know how to use them. They're a beautiful thing. We're going to be talking next week. We're talking now. They're going to be coming to the United States in 2 or 3 weeks. And we'll see what happens. But unless we're going to make a good deal or a fair deal for our country, let's face it, we cannot go back to a situation where giving hundreds of billions of dollars to China becomes standard fare. Not going to happen. We can't do it.
It comes as both sides work toward a truce, with the next round of face-to-face negotiations likely early next month, early October in D.C. My next guest just returned from China, where he met with top trade negotiations. Joining us right now is Georgia Senator, member of the Budget, Banking, and Armed Services Committees, and former Reebok and Dollar General CEO, David Perdue. Senator, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Maria.
Yeah, we want to talk China with you. You've got this unique perspective, both as a current lawmaker and the former CEO of retail giants that were in China, likely to get affected by the tariff fight. You're just back from China. What have you learned?
Well, Senator Daines and I were over there last week as a part of an ongoing effort to develop a relationship with their National People's Congress. We met with their chairman and their vice chairman. And the next day we met with their trade rep, Liu He, as you mentioned. And so we basically sent one message, and that is, look, this president's very serious, and he has bipartisan support in Congress to get a level playing field with China. Look, the perspective here, Maria, is that we have a new free trade agreement with South Korea under President Trump. We have Japan now with an agreement in principle. We have a USMCA that if we put it on the floor of the House and the Senate today, it would pass, in my opinion. And we have Europe in here. So China is really moving, I think, to develop a more level playing field. But it's a serious conversation, and it's going to be ongoing for a while, I'm afraid.
Senator, it's Dagan McDowell. How long is a while? Because there's an election coming up. Not today, not today in North Carolina, but I'm talking about next year.
Well, obviously, the big picture here is that we've got to get a president into a second term to deal with what you talked about just a minute ago, and that's this debt crisis that we have, and we have to deal with the entitlement programs and mandatory expenses to do that. But I think right now what we see is an effort to get China to the table again, and they're coming back in a few weeks, as you mentioned. I'm hopeful that we'll see some progress. And look, we have already made a lot of progress with China in terms of equal access. What we have is some difficulties with regard to intellectual property rights, the forced transfer of technology, the cyber war, and the compliance with the WTO. I mean, these are reasonable requests that President Trump is doing. And, you know, guys, isn't it high time that some United States president stood up to China and said, look, we need equal access here and a level playing field?
Jack?
Senator, if you had to guess, you know, I was one of these people who thought for sure we're going to have a resolution before the 2020 election because the president isn't going to want to go into campaigning with this hanging over. But now it doesn't look like that. If you had to guess, would you say before or after? I mean, are we talking years that this could drag on?
Well, I'll let some career politician make a prognostication about that. But I'll say this is from a business perspective, this is a deal that can be done, but you've got two sides that are not exactly on the same page yet. And look, you've got to respect the Chinese. They are the largest developing economy in the world. They see us as the largest developed economy in the world. I worry, though, about long-term intentions that China has disclosed over the last few years. So there are some real strong difficulties here. I believe that we could get an agreement in part before next year. Look, our negotiators are finally in tune to this. I think Secretary Mnuchin and Ambassador Lighthizer are joined at the hip in terms of this negotiation. You said that the Chinese are coming back here in a few weeks. So I'm still hopeful by the end of this year we could see some noticeable progress that we could disclose publicly.
So, I mean, there's China and then there's USMCA. And you know, we know that USMCA and the trade with China but the trade with Mexico and Canada is more than $1 trillion, $1.1 trillion. The trading is $500 billion. So Congress is back in session with a big to-do list. Obviously, it feels like the Mexico-Canada situation is even more urgent than the China story. 11 trade groups, including the Semiconductor Industry Association and the Internet Association, are urging lawmakers to pass President Trump's deal with Mexico and Canada. It's a top priority for Republicans this fall. It's stalling in the House. Democrats are delaying the vote. What are you going to do?
Maria, you've got it. This is nothing but pure politics. This is a deal that got everything the Democrats have wanted for the last decade. Stronger labor requirements, stronger compensation requirements in Mexico. Mexico's already ratified it. Canada's in the process of doing it right now. I believe personally if we put it on the floor of the House and the Senate, it would pass today. Americans want this. Look, a $68 billion increase in our GDP, 176,000 potential new jobs. This is a good deal. It's much better than NAFTA that we're under today. I can't see anything but pure politics is keeping this from being passed today.
Senator, I just have one question. You know, you talk about this president needing to be reelected. Right now, we know that the trade war is obviously hitting China much more than it's hitting average Americans. For the average American, it's going to cost them about $400 this year. But what if that does uptick before 2020? What then?
You know, in my state, soybean farmers have been hurt really bad by these tariffs, and they're the strongest supporters of this strategy, and here's why. Because everybody sees the long-term reality of a level playing field. If we get a level playing field, our exports go up dramatically. And you know, guys, if you want to continue to grow this economy north of 3%, which we have to do to deal with the debt, you've got to grow exports, and that's what this president's trying to do. Look, we had unlevel playing fields on most of our trade agreements for the last 50 years, actually since World War II, because we were trying to help the third world develop. I lived in Asia. Senator Daines lived in Asia. That's one reason why we're trying to play a small part in helping this dimensional relationship with China. But this is a long-standing issue of our own making.
Senator, really quickly, do the farmers need and will they get another bailout from the federal government? I think there have been two, north of $25 billion total, if my math is right. Do you think that more money is headed their way?
Well, we'll see. I mean, the best thing that could happen to farmers is the commodity prices would rebound. I mean, we've got the lowest commodity prices in years, and that's really devastating right now, and not only in the Southeast, but the Midwest as well as California. So we'll see. I think the president has moved judiciously so far, and he stands ready to back our farmers. We know this is a strategic industry. It's over half the GDP in my home state of Georgia. So the president's got his eye on that for sure.
All right, we will leave it there. Senator, it's good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
David Perdue joining us there.